I love Strandberg guitars, and I make a lot of Strandberg content, arguably way too much. I've made many different guitar reviews on Strandberg guitars, as well as a whole series of videos talking about the unique aspects of these instruments, and even a full rundown of the lineup of guitars a couple years back, as well as a wish list video to Strandberg as far as what I wish that the company would do next. And unfortunately, after getting some strange comments on a couple videos, I stopped by the website and the lineup has, in my opinion, taken a clear turn for the worse. So let's take a look at what I The original model in the Bowden line has always been among one of my favorite guitars, cosmetically and just overall. The crazy thing is, there are now no more tremolos in the original line. They are all fixed bridge guitars. One of the biggest selling points about Strandberg guitars is that they were one of the first companies to mass produce a multi-scale guitar with a tremolo. That's like one of their biggest selling points. So it is a complete head scratcher to me that they have gotten rid of the tremolos on the original models. This feels like extra terrible timing, as Kiesel and Ernie Music Man have just launched guitars with. This feels like extra terrible timing to do something like that, as Kiesel and Ernie Music Man have just launched a multi-scale tremolo guitar option. Add to that, the 7 and 8 string original models have just the exact same pickups as all the other guitars except for one Signature Series 1, which is a Fishman Fluence Modern. This is incredibly disappointing in my opinion. No tremolo and the exact same pickups as all the other guitars. I mean, you're basically just buying it then for the cosmetic variations. Very disappointing. Why they don't equip the 7 and 8 string guitars with different pickups than the Prog or the Metal line is completely beyond me. This would be a great opportunity to have some instruments that help differentiate themselves from the line. I've now played a Prog, a Metal, and an original all equipped with these Fishman Fluence pickups, and they all sound remarkably similar. And now that they've dropped the tremolo from the original line, it is truly a head scratcher. I do not understand what they're thinking. For a little bit of context here, my very first Strandberg was a part of the Korean-made OS line. It was an original OS 7 that came with Seymour Duncan, Sentient, and Pegasus pickups and a 5-way switch, as standard from the factory. I used that instrument to track all of the leads and other textures on my songs World-1 and Cauldron of Stars, and I really truly loved that instrument. Why haven't I kept it then? Well, the pickups have a nice tone, but due to the pickup covers, they were a little bit too vintage in an output for my tastes. I like a slightly hotter pickup than that they had. The other issues that I had with this guitar is that the older design of the locking nut was a little bit fragile the way Strandberg used to do it, and the new NX nut is a vast improvement. It is far sturdier. The other big problem that I had with the guitar was the older Strandberg bolt-on neck joint wasn't the most sculpted thing in the world, and there were a couple passages specifically in World-1 where I had to do a large slide and my hand would always bump into the heel and would lead to a couple wrong notes every once in a while. So the new NX design has a far more sculpted neck joint. It's more like an Ibanez all-access neck joint if I'm being completely blunt, and makes playing lines like that substantially easier. They also have slightly modified and upgraded the NX tremolo systems. I think the bridge is maybe just a little bit better made as well. So because of these things was why I decided to part ways with the OS and change over to the new NX line. Now, let's take a look at the current lineup for the standard Bowden series. This is low-key my favorite line of guitars that Strandberg is offering currently, as it is a solid body. It is not chambered. These guitars also feature a veneer top and not a solid top, which helps save money. Now, there is still a cap on the guitar. That's important to point out. They have not gotten rid of the maple top on the different guitars. They just use a veneer to help save costs, which helps keep the price of the guitars down. And these are pretty affordable for a professional quality instrument that has stainless steel frets and high quality hardware. So what are the problems here? Identical as the original. No tremolo options for a 7-string, and again, blanket exact same Fishman Fluence pickups across all the guitars. A complaint I've heard on multiple videos of mine is that the tremolo standard 6 model is for some bizarre reason a single humbucker and not a humbucker model. This does not make any sense to me, as they have the classic line, which is SSH, and the regular fixed bridge 6-string model is humbucker. So why not just go HH with a tremolo? Multiple people that I've seen comment on my videos have asked for that, and I completely agree. Why they don't do this is beyond me. This redundancy is a bit confusing, as the guitar is so similar to that classic, except it just has worse pickups, as the classic now comes equipped with those amazing Sir pickups. Thank God the Bowden Prog models are the same that they have been for years, but the head scratcher here is, where are the neck-through guitars? A neck-through 7-string Pliny model a couple years back, and that is yet to materialize. Why there are no neck-through, original, Prog, standard, tremolo-equipped guitars across the line is very strange to me. I know multiple people have commented on my videos hoping that they would come out with that instrument, and yet to happen. Everything so far bums me out or just straight up confuses me, but when it comes to the classic, this one straight up pisses me off. It's outright a scam and a total price gouge. If you're unaware, the old classic model cost $1,500 brand new. For your $1,500, it was one of the best deals on the market. You got full quality hardware and those stainless steel frets. The only catch was you got Strandberg branded pickups that were not the best, unfortunately. They addressed this in the new NX line of the classic, so now you get some upgraded Sir pickups. I currently have one in for review. I'm actually in the process of recording a 6-minute long track with it, and believe me, I love this guitar. It sounds incredible, and it's everything that the old classic that I made a review on was, but plus much better sounding pickups. So what's the problem here? Well, that old classic was $1,500 and the new one is $2,200. You don't have to be a math whiz to realize that's a $700 price increase for what is essentially just a pickup upgrade. Yes, it is upgraded to NX specs, but the other guitars in the Strandberg line did not change in price. They are still the same as they went from a regular original design to the NX spec. So they basically upgraded all of the guitars across their lineup to NX spec for essentially free. They weren't asking any more money. The price stayed the same except for one of the guitars, which they jacked up by $700, hoping that nobody would notice. So how much do those pickups actually cost? Well, the bridge pickup is a Sir Thornbucker Plus, costs $130. And the neck and middle pickups are both Sir V60 LP pickups, and those cost $100 each. So that's $330 retail, right? So that's with markup. So Strandberg is not paying that for the pickups when they equip them, right? That's the whole point. You buy something factory, you're supposed to be getting a better deal at it. So I don't know how much they're paying for it, but it damn well isn't $330. So my theory here is the classic was a pretty popular model. It was selling well. They decided to upgrade the pickups and use that as an excuse to jack up the prices, crossing their fingers that nobody would notice. And I find that pretty slimy and pretty dishonest. I know I sound a bit like a grumpy old man and it's a super first world problem, but one, I just got ripped off by a dishonest Ford dealer here in the Philadelphia area, so I'm a little bit on the warpath with this kind of thing. And because the classic should still be a great bargain. At $1,500 for the old price, it was an awesome deal. Now with this major price increase, $2,200 is too much in my opinion. The Bowden Metal range of guitars. These are basically fine. I mean, this is the lineup that, in my opinion, should have those Fishman Fluence pickups in it anyway. People who are buying these instruments are specifically using them for a genre that those pickups are equipped for. Great. Makes sense. My only issue here is that they dropped the white color, so now there's just less variety, which is a bit of a head scratcher, but whatever, it's fine. The Bowden Fusion line. There's no more neck-through guitars. They dropped them altogether. I don't understand why. The Fusion neck through that I reviewed a couple years back was probably the finest playing guitar I've ever played. That neck through design paired with the Bowden body style made unprecedented access to the upper frets. It really was so easy to play in the upper part of the neck. I'm guessing, as obviously I don't have any internal statistics from Strandberg, but the guitars must not have sold well, and that's why they're dropping them? I don't know, it's just so confusing to me. I know so many people have commented that they want to try to get their hands on the neck through models, and they just don't exist right now. So, what the hell gives? They're obviously making decisions based on market research and internal sales data that I am not privy to clearly. These decisions they've made lately are just such a head scratcher though. To drop the multi-scale tremolo from the original line right as competitors are launching a multi-scale tremolo, just on its surface, has got to be a bad business decision. I don't know any other way to cut it. Kiesel especially is definitely going to start to take up some market share away from Strandberg. Equipping all of the 7 and 8 string guitars across all of their models with identical pickups is clearly a mistake as well. Why not provide some variety and some spice to the lineup besides just simple cosmetics? It would be so cool to have a range of guitars equipped as stock from the factory with like bare knuckle pickups, or DiMarzio pickups, or Seymour Duncan pickups, or a different line of the Fishman Fluence pickups. Like if you just want to do the Fluence, then fine, but maybe put a different model in the Prog versus the Metal so that the guitars are fundamentally voiced differently. That just seems so obvious as a business decision. And then when you combine that with the clear price gouge on the Classic that I find absolutely offensive, with the disappointing single humbucker model of the standard tremolo, there's just so many head scratcher decisions that don't make any sense to me. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think it's crazy that they dropped the tremolo from the original line? Are you as heated as I am about this price gouge on the Classic? Would you like to see some different pickups equipped on the different models? Let me know down below. Thank you for watching this video. Rock on, and I'll see you in the next one.